Hey, Amy Barney here. Welcome, welcome. Have you ever read any of Brene Brown's books? I was really curious to read The Gifts of Imperfection. It was highly recommended to me by so many different people, and so I thought I'd just share a little summary. I've read it 2 or 3 times recently, and every time I read it, it's just there's something new I pick up, and just something that's so applicable for just trying to become a better version of yourself. So she talks about wholehearted living, and she says it's a process that never stops. It's the opposite of a one-time choice. And courage, compassion, and connection are big topics throughout the book, and they are the gifts of imperfection. So courage, compassion, and connection are the gifts of imperfection. When you choose to be vulnerable with your shame and imperfection, you allow yourself to experience connection and the gifts of imperfection. And so this is a summary I took by Take Your Success Online. It's a great summary. I highly recommend the book. Definitely anything by Brene Brown. It's just so insightful. And definitely if you're trying to grow into becoming a better person, have a growth mindset, want to grow in whatever aspect of your life, I highly recommend any of her books. So she said the most compassionate people are the ones with the most boundaries. I thought that was interesting. And they use boundaries to hold people accountable instead of blaming and shaming them. And so, that's a really good point. You can't thrive emotionally, physically, socially, and intellectually on your own doing life alone. Your brain and body are hardwired for connection to other people. So if you want to truly experience feeling joy, meaning, and worthy, you must talk about what gets in the way of this. And so if we all want to feel joy, we all want to feel that we're worthy. And so she talks a lot about, she's a shame researcher, and that's what gets in the way of feeling those things is shame and not feeling worthy. And like, I recently said I had started seeing a therapist, and she recommended this book, and she's, so many women struggle with feelings of unworthiness and shame, and which are things that I've struggled with my whole life. And those things get in the way of you feeling joy in this life, of feeling worthy and deserving and achieving your goals. Because if you don't feel worthy, you're not going to be able to do the things that you want to do. So, all right, shame needs 3 things to grow out of control in our lives: secrecy, silence, and judgment. And she talks about 10 guideposts. Sorry, I can't even talk. I've been tired today. 10 guideposts to wholehearted living. And I'm not going to go into details. I'm just going to share each one. And you should definitely read the book if you want more details on those. So number 1 is letting go of what people think. Number 2 is letting go of perfectionism. 3, letting go of numbness and powerlessness. 4, letting go of scarcity and fear of the dark. 5, letting go of the need for certainty. 6, letting go of comparison. 7, letting go of exhaustion as a status symbol and productivity as self-worth. And 8, letting go of anxiety as a lifestyle. 9, letting go of self-doubt and supposed to. And 10, letting go of being cool and always in control. I gotta admit, I definitely identify with a lot of those things that I struggle with: perfectionism, numbing, powerlessness, scarcity, comparison, self-doubt, always wanting to be in control. And these are guideposts to wholehearted living. You gotta let them all go. And it's really hard to do. So I love this quote: self-doubt undermines the process of finding our gifts and sharing them with the world. Moreover, if developing and sharing our gifts is how we honor our spirit and connect with God, self-doubt is letting our fear undermine our faith. I just love that, because I'm a faith-filled person. I regularly worship, and that connection, when you feel that self-doubt, that's undermining your faith. And that's an important one for me to, make that distinction. So you can choose to let go of yourself to live a fake life for others, or you can embrace who you are and own your life story. You'll love life, others, and yourself better when you're authentic. So live wholeheartedly by switching your mindset from trying to be perfect and identifying yourself with what others think to feeling I'm enough no matter what happens today. And this is something I've been working on myself, is learning to love myself no matter how I show up and realize that I'm enough. And obviously I'm not perfect. You'll be more courageous, compassionate, and connected this way. A wholehearted living is never-ending process. It's not a milestone. So obviously we're always going to be, digging in and having to work on this. It's never going to stop. So she talks about striving to dig deep, especially when you're tired and stressed, by being, number one, deliberate, be intentional in what you think and do. Number two, inspired, get yourself in the right emotional and mental place to feel like yourself. And three, going, take action, whether that's to rest or work harder, just do it. So these are, this just is a recap of her, The Gifts of Imperfection. Highly recommend it. It's such a good book. And here's another great quote. Understanding the difference between healthy striving and perfectionism is critical to laying down the shield and picking up your life. Research shows that perfectionism hampers success. In fact, it's often the path to depression, anxiety, addiction, and life paralysis. I think that's just a super great quote. And we cannot, and I love this too, because we all do some form of numbing, and some of us more than others. But this is an important point. We cannot selectively numb emotions. When we numb the painful emotions, we also numb the positive ones. And so I thought that was powerful. So that is just a quick summary of The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. Super great book, you guys. Definitely, I highly recommend it. By the way, if you would like some other books that are really great for improving your mindset and helping you to be more successful in life, I have this awesome list. I think this was recommended to me by Ray Higdon. It's a really, really great list to help get you going in the right direction. And if you like that, just shoot me a message and I will send that over to you. So I hope you have a great week. I'll be heading out to Tahoe. Super excited and love you. See you tomorrow.